welcome back to this new series of a David Brown 990. The story with this one, it's not mine, it's not for sale, it's a one tractor owner. It's been with the same family all its life, not sure if it's the same farm, but same family all its life, and they've got a lot of memories of this tractor, and that's what we're trying to restore, is the memories of this tractor so they can drive around it in the farmyard. Can you tell what this tractor used to do for a living? You guessed it, she was on the scraper. So what's the story with the tractor since it's been parked up? It was parked up slightly further back, and we come to it, had a look, thought, yeah, we can do the steering box, no problem at all for me, we'll sort that. Let's check what the engine's like. So we put it in gear, we rocked it, it was solid. Like, ooh, okay, why is that? Had a look down the manifold, I could see a glimmer of water in there. I thought, oh, what's gone on here? We're in a barn, we should be good. But then I had a look above where the manifold was, and that's what takes us to here. The actual roof has gone, it's been leaking right down the exhaust manifold, it's got into the cylinders and it seized the engine up. So what we've done is we've removed all the injectors, we put a funnel in here, we filled it up with diesel and in each cylinder, and this tractor's now been left for 2 weeks soaking. So what we're going to do today is see if we can actually free up the engine, get it turning, and assess where we're at then. It may be a full rebuild, we may get lucky. Let's see how we get on. We're going to take the dipstick out, and last time I come it was way over, and the reason for that is the water what's gone down the exhaust into the cylinders has weeped past the piston rings and ended up in the sump. So if you have a look there, where are we at? Just give that a clean off. Turn it over a bit. There we go. There's the full mark. We'll re-dip that and just see where we're at with the oil. So she's up here, the full mark's here. What I'm saying is the water's gone down, it's raised the oil level up, and that's why it's so high. We've got the boy with us today. We're going to get a socket and ratchet on the crank and see if there's been any magic while we've been away. Beautiful. Winner, winner. There she goes, she's getting that diesel out, she's lubed up. That's good news, very good news. Woohoo! That was a stroke of luck. Just shows what the good old diesel can do. Leave it to do its magic for a couple of weeks, come back, brand new engine. How good's that? So what I want to do is get this engine circulating. I don't know what the starter's like, I haven't got a battery here, so what I'm going to do is focus on getting the steering back together, and it might be a case of we can tow it around the farmyard to get that engine turning over, get that diesel spitting out, because what I don't want to do is put the injectors back in and end up hydrolocking it and creating damage. We've done well up to now. Just clean up all the bolts. They're all greased up as well before we put them back in. So when we come a couple of weeks ago to have a look at the tractor and we discovered that it's seized, we put it in gear, we rocked it forward, there was no movement. We actually had a Nevada pickup strapped to it and it was still locked up. That's how seized up it was. To come 2 weeks after the diesel's been in there soaking away, I'm amazed that it's freed off. I expected a battle today. It was a nice easy one. We've strapped the diesel tank back, which is allowing us to have a little bit more access for fitting the steering box. We've got some bolts in there. Now I'm not sure why they've got nuts on these bolts as well, whether the original, I'm not sure, but the thread fits, so they're going in for now, just so we can get them together. We've now got the steering box all bolted in, and you can see with the bolts, they're not all the way home, they've got nuts on to secure them down. The reason for that is they're not the right bolts, but this is what we've got at the moment. They do want cutting down so they fit properly, but that is the steering box on. We're now going to install the throttle back on. If you look just under the steering wheel there, this is going to go through and bolt on. If you've got a Davy Brown where your throttle keeps knocking back, it's not holding in place, you can actually just nip this nut up and it'll give you a little bit more friction to hold on. It has these friction washers there for that. Once that nut's tightened to the right friction, so the throttle will hold in place but not be too tight, we'll then put the bottom connector on here. That's the throttle back in now, which is connected up, but at the fuel pump end, which is not very good on the connection here. So it will want a new fitting on there, or in a world of farming, a bit of baler twine. So we're really happy with the throttle, feels silky smooth, awesome job. We just need to take it off again to fit the dash. The joys of not taking it apart myself, there's actually a hole in the dash here where the throttle needs to go through. So we'll dismantle it, we'll get the dash on and the tank. That's the dash in with the throttle all connected back up, smooth as. We're now going to look at getting the diesel tank back in place, and we're getting close to where we can, we've got the car there, we're going to get some jump leads on, see if we can get it turning over on the starter motor, get all that diesel cleaned out, then we can look at getting the injectors back in. We might get somewhere near to see if it'll actually fire up, depending if all things work out. So let's get this diesel tank on and let's get on with it. Slapping under the steering box to get it out now. Just like that. So now we need to find a bolt to bolt this tank back up. Let's see what bolts we've got. We've got 2 bolts, one either side there. We're going to connect the jump leads up off the car because I haven't got a big battery to try and start it. All I want to do is see if we get the engine turning over to get the rest of that diesel out. Then we can reinstall the injectors and get it back together. We'll see if she'll start off the key as well. Finding the lead itself. Yeah. So even though it doesn't look very clean, actually down where the injector is going to seat, I've just been in with a screwdriver and a rag, and we've got a good poke around in here, so the injector will seat in there properly. So we'll get the injector seated in. That's the injectors all back in, leak off rails all connected up and back to the tank. Let's stop that water getting back in. That on there. All the injection pipes are still loose because we'll have to bleed it through. We've still got to connect the steering up. Want to have a look inside the rocker cover, make sure we're good inside here. And we need to drain a bit of that water out the sump as well and look at the oil. We've got the tyre blower upper connected up to the car. We'll see if we get this front tyre to blow up. Maybe we're asking a little bit too much. It's blown up, but it's leaking out of here.